The best records of changing times and moods are kept by musicians. Our artists today are historians of the future. If the beat drives you wild and if the words echo your thoughts, the odds of you listening to Asian Dub Foundation are pretty strong. The Electronica British Band was formed in the early 90s, responsible for the foundations of the epic Asian underground movement. The current lineup mixes punk, rap, reggae, and dubstep with powerful lyrics to present the politics of race and individuality. It has been through Akhu Chingangbam's poetry, his lilting music, that we have had an insider's view of Manipur. Akhu formed Imphal Talkies in 2008 in New Delhi, naming his band after a movie theater that showed adult movies. Keeping with the rebellious nature of the theater, he adopted the name to reflect his own personality of peaceful protest and questioning. I'm Monica Dogra, singer, songwriter, and one half of electro-rock act Shire and Funk. Join me as we travel far and wide to bring you stories, moments, and songs that remind us time and again that some things are just worth doing. Welcome to the Dewarists. We can live in countries apart, but talk the same language, have the same concerns, and find common principles. Our story today takes a bunch of international musicians to meet a poet who lives in the hills in the far eastern corners of India. I love it when
It's strange for me personally to be back in India after 30 years. It's really interesting to see the interface of India and Southeast Asia. And one of my earliest musical memories is probably just sitting with my dad as he listened to all the Indian classical stuff. Because of that, I really got into rugs and the whole principle of cyclical melody. 20 years later, I'm using the same principle with bass.
Well, the funny thing was, every Sunday morning, the house would be full of classical rag, and then there was also a program called Naya Zindagi Naya Jivan. That's where I first heard Qawwali, classical folk. You know, the great musicians of India that the immigrant community were listening to, and my father was no exception. So when I started rediscovering this much later on in my late teens, early 20s, I had all these cassettes of wonderful music, and I actually started playing bits from them, trying to imitate them, and it changed the way I played guitar.
Put an advert in a local paper wanting to meet Asian and black musicians to create dub stroke noise. You know, the only person who responded to the advert was Steve Chandrasonic. What I heard was undoubtedly Indian, but as well it was undoubtedly futuristic. And when I heard that sound, I said, "You're Chandrasonic." I gave him that name.
I came in with my abstract noise and anti-guitar, and we just hit it off and we did a few gigs at underground raves.
It eventually became a project called Headspace because everyone else was going, which is based on the house beat. We weren't doing that. I mean, we played all kinds of rhythms. You know, this heavy half-speed dub bass line going underneath.
1981, there was the Southall riots. And I used to go to school, and then in lunchtime, we used to get chased by the skinheads and the mods. Used to go home, couldn't talk to anyone, couldn't talk to my parents about it. Felt quite lonely. I think the only thing that got me out there and saved me, really, was this guy, Parmajit Kelsey. And he would scratch, you know? I'd never seen something like that. Man, you do that to turntables, wow. This is when I was 14. It got to me, the music got to me. I just wanted to learn about sonics and sound. I actually wanted to do art. I wanted to go to art school, but I wasn't, you know, you can't do that. So I ended up getting a job, and a job that I really hated. I was like a tax inspector, right? And I hated it. You know, basically, if you're unhappy in your heart, you know, it's gonna eat away at you for many, many years until you change direction. I stayed there for 5 years, I suffered. So I was going out a lot of parties and stuff. I would go to underground parties, I would go to warehouse parties, anywhere. That was a kind of a lonely, difficult time because there was not many Asian people going to these type places. I would just go there and I'd just dance all night, stay next to the speaker.
You know, I saw him at raves. He was a wicked dancer. He'd got his own little Yamaha QY something machine playing, and he was dancing as well. And we invited him to come into the setup.
Aniruddha set it up as a kind of sound system with Dewar and Pandit G, basically DJ bass, but with lots of other things thrown in.
And with Sanjay, we became the 5-piece. And that was the classic ADF lineup. We created the first album, Facts and Fictions, in '95. There's no management or anything like that. We were learning things on the fly. The British music business is racist. They said, oh, if these were 4 white guys with guitars, they would have got a deal a long time ago.
We like it loud, it's more like a dub sound system vibe. Heavy beats, thrashing guitars, conscious lyrics. And you get this floating Indian sample coming through, or flute texture coming through as well. So, you know, it's nice.
So that's where you're consciously bringing in the Indian sounds with a view to making something which is consciously, identifiably Indian, Asian, whatever.
Okay, so we heard about this guy, Satpal Ram. So his story was that he used to work in a factory or something, opening boxes and stuff. So after work, he was with his friends, sitting there having his meal. These guys walk in, racists, yeah? What's this packy music going on? Start throwing food around the restaurant. So anyone, I would do it as well. I turn around, what are you doing, man? Stop, do you know what I mean? Guy gets up, smashes the bottle on the thing, tries to approach Satpal. Satpal's forced against the wall. What'd you do, man? He had to defend himself. So he had a penknife. He took his penknife out and tried to push the geezer away. Guy's on the floor, they call the ambulance, and he does it, he refuses medical treatment because the nurse is black or Asian. Racist. He didn't even want to be treated. The guy dies. Satpal turns up to the police station, he gets arrested. Been in prison for 13 years. So we wrote this track, Free Satpal Ram. And then Primal Scream picked it up. We had some of their campaigns sitting outside a gig, signing a petition.
We got signed by a major record company who then paid to put out 20,000 professional posters saying Free Satpal Ram. And that actually got a lot of more attention than we ever thought it would, you know, and that became quite a big campaign and was actually successful. You know, I mean, this was pretty unprecedented, that a major corporate record company unwittingly or semi-wittingly, were actually funding a political campaign, you know. I thought that was pretty revolutionary in my mind.
And Satpal got pardoned. So we kind of like, I'd say that our music changed, made a change, made something happen for the positive.
Just because we are musicians engaged in the forum of pop music, why should we stop expressing our opinions as members of society? Just because I'm a musician, why should I stop being a human?
Like it or not, man, you've got to talk about issues that are real and do affect us. And you know, you can dance and you can have a party at the same time. There's nothing wrong with that.
Always bouncing from tough times personally, tough times with your relation to the whole of the band, tough times between band and record company, between band and agent. Yeah, it's not easy being in a band, actually. You know, a lot of musicians are destroyed by playing music, by being in this world, you know. But at the same time, you're lucky because millions of people aspire to what you do. You know, this has been my living for nearly 20 years, you know.
It's taken a lot out of me, to tell you the truth. It can be very difficult sometimes, you know, emotional, physically, it can drain you. And obviously you have to deal with your commitments at home, your wife, your kid. And so, but I love it. It's what I believe in. Asian Dub Foundation has been a very important thing in my life. And so I still continue to do it because I believe in it. If I don't love it, if I didn't believe in it, then I wouldn't do it anymore. Simple as that. And I think that's why we're still carrying on. We're still doing what we're doing. Who knows, we might be in wheelchairs for 20, 30 years' time, carrying on.
This Imphal, this is where I grew up. You know the difference, like it was not a very normal childhood day. We were born and brought up in such society which has been very much affected by socio-political issues or whatever. And music was very new to me actually. In school, I started listening to top 10 Hindi collections and lots of Hindustani music and all Manipuri songs. But still at that point of time, I was not, like I was just listening. And I had a friend who plays guitar and I was the guy, you know, who sit beside them and clap and listen, yeah, type, you know. Jail to the court to the hospital, After my class 12, I did my BSc Physics Honours, Delhi University. At that point of time, I know, like, you know, music can be really political. For me, I cannot divide between poetry and songs. When I read something like, you know, I always feel like singing. So when I started writing poetry, so I figured out a way to sing it. I started playing guitar in second year. I kind of figured it out, how to play. I started tuning myself. After that, yeah, I started recording my stuff. In 2005, a friend was making a film. So he asked me, like, Akhu, can you do the lyrics of the film? I said, wow, it's like something's happening. I was not supposed to sing the song. He asked me to come down to sing a cue track. Then I sang the cue track, and this friend of mine, he said, wow, you can do it, you know. Then I ended up singing that song. And after that, I realized, you know, wow, I can sing in the studio also. Not only in my bathroom or in my kitchen or while cooking. When I started performing in New Delhi, those days, I mean, they didn't even pay me. I mean, still it's very funny, the whole thing. They think that, I'm singing social issues, so I should do everything free. So they'll just call you like that, and they'll say, hi, Akhu, thanks a lot for it. They'll give me a hug, and then I just walk, slinging my guitar like a dead man. Or for that matter, I think no one wants to pay a musician, I think. I went to Pune for my PhD. I decided that I should record my own thing. Then I came back to Imphal and have my sister in the band and one of my old friend, Sachin. We recorded the album in 9 or 10 days, the whole entire album, and we call ourselves Imphal Talkies. That's how the band was formed. There was nothing much. We had no money. We were pretty immature, but it was fun. People have this pre-notion of if you sing, you should have a husky voice, like Jagjit type or Idi Bedar type of voice. People complain about it, like, Akhu, you don't have a voice to sing, you don't have... People keep telling me, like, But I said, what's your problem, man? I mean, like, I am the one who financed the whole recording. I am the one who writes it. And what's the problem, I really don't care whether you listen to me or not, because I love doing this and that's what I'm doing. It's like as much as you love breathing and living. I'm not happy with whatever that I have faced in so-called 30 years of my existence. Here we are struggling about our own lives. Like here the guns are pointing at you and you're scared of that moment. We don't even have a life, secure life. That's why I do sing and write all this kind of song. It's part of me, it's part of very much of me being Akhu.
This one.
The one that's open, right?
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Good to see you.
Dr. Das, right?
Yeah.
Sanjay.
Nice, man. Nice to see you.
Steve.
I know.
Great to meet you, Akhu.
Same.
We haven't really worked ever in ADF's career with someone who's actually such a traditional songwriter in many ways. Just the simple, basic format of lyric-led songs with acoustic guitar.
From my point of view, when I write the song, it's pretty much a protest song, but in a different way. When we were asked for this show, I sent this song and a translated version of the Manipuri lyrics. When I wrote a song, it's meant to be funny, it's meant to be very sarcastic. We have this act that has been imposed in entire Northeast and Kashmir. What this act does to people, like any army with a gun, if he or she thinks that you are a terrorist or something, he can just kill you. He just needs to think to kill you.
Yeah.
In the song, what I'm trying to do is I want New Delhi to feel that how does it feel when something so dear to you has been snatched away by some external force? So
the idea is you take the Qutub Minar and you carve the names.
yeah, carve the names of the people who has been killed by the same act.
Akhu, who of course was born here and began his journey as a musician through being an activist, a musician activist. And Asian Dub Foundation, which is a group who challenged authority before anyone was really raising a voice, and did it in such a cool and fun way that got you excited about being an activist rather than intimidated by the word. So definitely a collaboration that has a very powerful force behind it. I foresee it being quite seamless.
Well, just the idea.
It's a tough beat because you were just playing acoustic on your original song.
Okay.
So I want to put it up a gear, do you know?
Yeah.
Make it a bit more...
The reason is what we've always said, that politics is in the sound as well, not just in the lyrics. So if you make a sound that sounds angry or forceful, that alone sets it up before the lyrics come in.
Will it change my way of singing? Because
we're going to toughen you up, Akhu.
It's Akhu Dub Foundation.
Akhu, that's it.
The capital of Manipur is steeped in its history, especially highlighted by the moments it played a role in World War II. But what is truly humbling are its more organic highlights, like the Loktak Lake, the largest freshwater lake in Northeast India.
All of a sudden the terrain just opens up into this, really spectacularly beautiful landscape that just had like hundreds of birds circling around and dipping into it, and you have this backdrop of the mountains.
Lake Loktal is serious significance for this particular region and the people. Spiritual and historical significance because there's lots of, or one particular famous story.
Like every romantic story, like Leila Majnu, Romeo and Juliet time, no? So we have like two characters like Khamba and Thoibi. Khamba is the guy and Thoibi is the, woman.
The woman.
So they are in love, and so the whole story is based in this place called Moirang and this particular lake.
Ah.
Manipur itself is again like an army base camp, everywhere you go, you find this army.
Sadly, it's quite a centre of the conflict in this region as well. There's been lots of insurgent groups around this area, and it's been under serious military occupation for a long time.
I have a song called Tidim Rod. Okay, it's the name of my
album.
Yeah.
Akhu himself did his whole of his first album was about the road to this lake and a mythological character coming back to the lake now and being saddened and disappointed by all the conflict that surrounds the lake.
It starts from there, no? You can see the green thing.
Oh, yeah.
It itself is a floating, thing. Like,
You can see the green thing?
yeah.
I see lots of green things.
Floating
It's
as it moves
floating.
around.
Yeah, it moves around. And
build
people,
shacks with,
people live there for generations.
Really building bridges, with everything that he does, which helped us to kind of understand him. So that was the beginning of the day, and I really enjoyed that.
Is there any kind of like monsters and
No,
kind of mythical
might be.
kind of
No one has.
mythical dragons? And
They have Cookie Monster.
I don't know.
It's another joke. So.
I don't get your joke, man. It must be a British joke, huh?
It's cool. Most people don't get my joke.
no, they choose to just to be quiet and pretend they don't get it.
Oh yeah, no, sure.
Imphal's diversity gives us just a tiny glimpse into its complex personality. It's enough to fuel the minds of our artists. So we're headed to the studio to see what we are about to kickstart.
It's the first time that Akhu and ADF kind of had the opportunity to speak through music with one another.
1, 2, 3, 4.
They're in the studio, they kind of have a song idea.
Basically, what happened last night, kind of met in the hotel room. I worked out a rough beat tempo on the edge of rock, punk, drum and bass kind of vibe. Well, I think leave the ghost to the end.
Yeah, but we need a bridge to go to that chorus.
Just have the toms going around.
No, it's too early.
Asian Dub Foundation, from its inception, has always been quite a political band. And Akhu, of course, being from Manipur, being from Imphal, huge reason why he made music, or I guess a reason why he started performing, was in protest.
Yeah, I mean, we had some very loose ideas with Akhu, but it kind of takes time to evolve for the kind of where ADF and Akhu meet. It took a while, but we eventually got there and we actually established a much tighter groove.
1, 2, 3, 4, I carry this tower on my back. All cover me, all you snakes, hang your head in shame.
I actually did something that folk musicians do. So his theme was very much to do with trains.
It's about a crazy guy in Delhi. So he decided that he would take Qutub Minar away from Delhi all the way back to Imphal. So the train carries the Qutub Minar, and the guy realized in his journey that, suffering doesn't know whether where you belong. Like there's no caste, no religion. So the song basically talks about his journey.
He's talking about the fact that almost India can be stolen by tourists. If they're allowed to do that, what else can they do, get away with? So he's kind of reclaiming India for the nation of India.
See, the song has a story, okay? So, I mean, I want to start the chorus. I want to have the chorus only when, like, we have moved, when the train,
on the train and the train
when the
is
train
moving,
starts.
man. Yeah, of course.
So it hasn't moved, I mean, at that moment.
That's going to be great, but we have to work out how long it should be and how it works, the transition.
Let us start from the top.
Yeah. Anytime someone says go.
You need a
So ADF says that they're massive, not passive. And I think Akhu would go and sing his protest songs and kind of fits into that.
I don't have to tell them, like, I'm trying to prove a point here, you know, against something. They just get it, you know. That's how even the chorus they come up with, you know, just simply reading the translation, they just come up with the lines that, which I didn't even think.
1, 2, 3, 4. Carry the tower.
Well, we've just been recording the jam, so what we've got is actually pieces that we can now piece through and say, oh, that bit's good, that bass line was good.
We've got the intro, we've got the verse, we've got the chorus, and we've got the bass line, and we've got the groove.
Earlier I was like very worried, like how would the sound, you know, turn out. But after jamming, it turns out pretty well.
Akhu is absorbing the ADF energy and kind of, it's him, but it's a more aggressive him.
It's not an arranged marriage, it's not a forced marriage, it's more like it's a love affair, beautiful relationship.
And I think that's a great exercise, actually, because sometimes you need to scream to be heard, which is fine.
We only need to get to a point, okay, we'll listen to it now, go home and sleep on it, come back next day, finish it.
It's been a couple days in the studio, and ADF and Akhu have kind of, you know, formed exactly what it is that they want to do with the song. So they're finishing the final tracking. Earlier on today, they kind of established what the arrangement for the song would be.
We have to finish the song. We're gonna fit in the song in 5 minutes because that's the longest duration we have. But when we jam, it's 7 minutes. It's gonna be, I don't know, very challenging. This is where the chorus comes in.
We should go into the chords of the chorus, right? Straight on the drum and bass, but not sing the chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, I've got an idea. Just trying to think of a more... Why don't we just, before we start singing, let's just do this. I know it's a bit simple, but just a... Don't resolve it.
Oh, you say.
Sorry, yeah. What we'll do is we'll play
Okay,
the
around.
unresolved thing twice,
Okay, yeah,
and then when you come in, we'll resolve it.
Okay, yeah.
So that can try.
Chandra Sonic put down some of the guitars, and that's it really. We edited. Basically, we solidified the entire composition. We took out all the fat, all the bits that we didn't think were saying anything. So now it's much tighter and it's action-packed.
Do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking after he finishes his verse, we should have drum and bass drop. Yeah, and also have an end. So you stags, hang your head in shame.
Then go back to the slow speed.
Hang your head in shame. Hang your head in shame. Hang your head in shame. Hang your head in shame.
Deep came up with that chorus. We put it in and try to make chorus, you know, like sounds as if it's there already.
Like that or
Done. Yeah, why not?
yeah,
Simple.
Where Akhu's original concept, we put a lot more energy into it and a contemporary vibe.
awabani kuchu na kaide jati na kaide yani barabaru jalpaiguri yaurappada mailai nongsa sa take mata gong Qutub Minar gong tong na duna lai aina pusi isai nang aina lai.
I need to do that part.
Yeah.
Play a little bit early.
Yeah. Biha yaurappada ngai hako thai lo mi singa cha tak mi nei biri amma ching mi nei. Awabani kuchu na kaide jati na kaide yani barabaru.
It's got a fantastic voice. It's really sensitive. It's kind of understated as well, and for me as well, it's more dimensional than when I first listened.
Wow, that's amazing.
Did that sound okay to you?
To me, it's okay.
That's okay. That's done then. All right, great. So let's do these choruses, right? I think I should be in there with you.
Yeah.
I almost think you're overdoing the choruses a bit. You could simplify it for yourself a bit. Do the same as me. We go, carry the tower on my back. Yeah? Yeah, very good. So I think maybe we should do it together. You might have to turn it up, the whole thing up in the headphones. We've only got one ear, yeah?
1, 2, 3, 4. Carry the tower on my back. I'll carve their names. All you snakes, hang your head.
I really have no idea how will the song turn out, but I'm hoping for the best.
I'm really excited about this collaboration. And I think what Akhu does in some ways is he kind of channels that like old folk Midwestern energy. And I don't think that's ever been combined with kind of the electronic driving dance political sound that is ADF. And I think that they found a way to combine the two in a way that really works.
Words have always been an unrelenting force that changes tides and creates civilizations. Today, we were part of a process of building something potent. A forceful dose of reality, delivered with a spoonful of sugar. As we are swept away by its latent energy, we hope you too, if only for a moment, fall under its hypnotic spell as well.
Qutub Minar kong tong na dun na lai ay na punsi isay ngang ay na lai Brahmaputra turel na imang dalit lambadanig singay adungay gi Hanuman Kut yeta Qutub Minar pai Kut oy na iroy na dalai ay na nokpe tauraga Kidra bisingi maming budi Mayekla Hakani aina Qutub Minar da
Fantastic.
I am happy with how it's turned out.
It's been good fun, it's been great energy.
Good energy, vibrations were all fine. Akhu's come out of his shell, which we wanted.
I think the collaboration went off as kind of seamlessly as it possibly could have. Akhu and ADF found a way to combine two very different styles.
These guys really work hard. I didn't expect that, a Manipuri songs will be played this way, but it happened.
When you do a collaboration, if it's a successful one, all it means is it's the beginning of a new relationship of many collaborations.
It's not about ego, it's not about I'm a star, it's not about any of that. It's like I need to tell this story. The world needs to hear this.
And everybody said, oh, this is a huge mistake. You shouldn't leave. Calcutta is where it's happening. I didn't listen and I moved to Bombay.
Pulled out all the pots, all the pans, the bowls, the glasses. I construed this thing on the kitchen floor and I grabbed the spatula and like the spoons and it was just sounds.
Place your seats in upright position.